I decided to come film Balanced Rock again, and what I mean is I made another episode, which may or may not have come out yet, about late afternoon locations that are good for filming in the late afternoon. I am not here in the late afternoon today. I am here in the morning, but this spot signifies where I believe the Windows begins. There's a road that you turn off of here, so we're gonna treat this rock as a signpost. Here's one of the better views of Balanced Rock. That is kind of freaky. If you're here to see the scale of that, I mean, that rock on the top might be the size of like a 3-story home or something like that. No joke. And from up here at this viewpoint, you can actually see the entirety of the Windows section, including some of the arches we're gonna go visit. Some of the well-known ones here in the park. All right, I'm here at the Garden of Eden Overlook. And this is a cool section. There's nobody here either. There's like one car that's leaving. I saw people hanging out up on these sandstone structures when I was driving up. So I think the idea is come over here and take a look-see. Any direction you want to face ain't too shabby. But most of the action seems to be over here amongst these rock spires, but I'm gonna try to get up there. I see some people actually up there and follow their lead. And looking way off that way, there is a section called the Devil's Garden, and campground, which I think is going to be at the further end of that interesting landscape out on the horizon where I'm camping. At Devil's Garden Campground. All right, let's get up here. It's like a lone twisted juniper here, or pinyon pine. Is there a vortex in the middle of these rocks? I like these little micro workouts that I get in here on these trips. Nothing really intense in terms of like long hikes, but lots of intense short spurts. Oh, cool. I don't know what the Garden of Eden proper is. I'm guessing we were looking down upon it over this way. That would make more sense, as many probably wouldn't bother hiking up here. But you can see the parking lot below. That's where I hiked from. That's my car, the only one here. And then we'll spin around this way. And man, the views are fantastic no matter which way you look, all for different reasons. So these are all just appetizers. I think the main course is still ahead, so I don't want to spend all day at an overlook. So let's get down back to the car and let's get closer to the windows. And here we are at the windows. It's a pretty large landscape, but there are a lot of people here, and dust devils too. All right, so you can see you've got multiple arches that we can seek out that we're going to. You've got turret arch, south window, north window, double arch. It looks so tiny here in very much a silhouette, it would seem on my viewfinder, my camera. So this is also a place they recommend for late afternoon. All right, so I have a decision to make. I either need to go left and thread the needle this way, or go right, and I'm going to assume there's a loop. And it looks like Turret Arch can be reached, if I'm interpreting that correctly, by going either way. So my theory is the lighting's going to be better on the other side, because I think the sun's on the other side of it. folks at Turret Arch. You know what I'm gonna do is go right through the needle there. That's gotta be, I'm gonna estimate maybe 150, 200 feet high. Impossible to really get as you get closer up to it, all in one frame with this lens. Very impressive though. And I do think I chose wisely because that trail is gonna go around that way, so we're gonna definitely get some great views and I think less people. So if you've been watching this channel long enough, there's one lesson you've learned, which is that arches are meant for walking through. That's why they exist. To thread this needle, we're gonna have to do a little bit of scrambling up that, but we got that no problem. And hopefully we don't have a bad day, because arches are not forever, as we'll learn in other areas in the park. It's interesting that there was no breeze out there, but here inside of this thing, it's like a vacuum cleaner sucking air through the other side or something. Feels wonderful. Another needle threaded. How many that is, I don't remember. Lost count. All right, so the next thing is we want to go check out the windows. We're gonna walk a trail all the way around to the other side, and I think it might form a loop, hopefully. Okay, we got some options here. We've already seen Turret Arch. South window is to the right, so I'm gonna try to, like I said, go this way and see if we can sneak around the side, although the sun is rising now, so I don't know if by the time I get over there, will the sun still be on that side. All right, here we are in the back of the south window. This is a fantastic view. The best view of this one is from behind. I don't think I'm gonna be able to thread this needle today. I mean, that's a really tall, steep section right over there. I did see people that were up from the other side though, but not every needle is meant to be threaded, I suppose. There's a spot up there where most folks stop and take pictures, but I like the views from down here a little better, to be honest. This is fantastic and gigantic. The size of this thing is hard to convey to you guys. One thing that's very nice is these arches provide excellent shade if you can get underneath them. And you can really respect it even more when you see how huge that is and how much that must weigh and what it would sound like if it came crashing down. I was here in 2004, a much younger me, a much skinnier me, in my 20s, and I was floored by this. And I'm proud to say and happy to say that I still am. Nothing's changed in almost 20 years, other than I'm getting really old now. All right, so I rounded around the mountain. Not really a mountain, but the arches. I think that's the south window and the north window. And there's only one other couple back here. So, word of advice, there's shade and there's no people. And my plan is, once again, I think that's the north window. I wanna see if I can hitch a trail up and over and thread that needle. And if you really have a hankering to do it, you could see a gentleman that climbed up to the top of that south arch where I saw people from the other side. And as I predicted, this side is not a silhouette because the sun is indeed in the morning hours on the back side of this. So even though they advertise this as being great for afternoon photography, I would have to imagine in an earlier morning light, this would be fantastic from this side. I would say out of all the arches today, this south window from this view with that blue sky and clouds is my favorite arch view of the day. So I think I spied a trail. They really request that you don't go off trail too much here because I think of this stuff called cryptobiotic crust, the stuff that grows that you can really disrupt. But I do see a trail, so my assumption is we can thread this needle from the north here. The north window, which you can kind of see poking up. Let's see what we're looking at here. There's like people perched up high, and I do believe I can thread this needle. I do believe. All right. At least it's not a giant silhouette from this side, right? So I was at least right about that. But I didn't know that, I mean, even though it's really awesome, I think the structure looks better from the other side, just not in this light. All right, so one more look at the south arch and this beautiful landscape to boot. Very interesting structures, reminiscent of the Devil's Garden. So what you don't see on this show are the off-screen deliberations going on in my mind about, man, you need to be a completionist. And I saw a path that starts up higher towards the south arch, and I'm not far away now from the top. So if I can find an easy route up, let's go see if we can see through to the other side. Can't thread the whole thing, but we'll see what we can manage here. I am the closest I've been to this on the journey so far. And if you come up to the right side of this, just head up the right, stick to these boulders, and I think I see a decent way, and then stick to the sand paths to get to the north window when you're done. I'm gonna keep going. Going down is worse than coming up, in my opinion. A lot worse. See what I'm doing? I'm just kind of following the contours of this thing and looking for footholds and handholds. When I go down, I'm gonna put the camera down. I did it. Oh my God. My hat almost blew off too. Got some vertigo up here. While I officially can't thread it, this is the closest we're gonna get. So I did my duty, I think. South window, up close and personal. So for the guy in the yellow t-shirt, when he was up here, I looked small to him like those people look. So guy in the yellow t-shirt, and maybe what I presume is your wife, I was inspired by you to do this. So thank you for blazing the way, and I hope you enjoy your trip at Arches. Oh wow, another compelling reason to come up here is look at Turret Arch. You could see it from the eye of this needle. You can see another needle that I did thread earlier. And that's an awesome photo opportunity, maybe in a different lighting when there's more shadow, but that's framed up beautifully. Okay, so now the fun part, and the part where I say, do I regret this decision? I'm already kind of regretting this decision, because now I have to look down as I do this. And it's kind of like I have to hold the camera anyway, so I might as well film, right? This is not the smartest thing. Do not attempt this at home, kids. Use two hands. Man, probably violating so many principles of rock climbing, it's not funny. So look in a little place between these boulders, and you'll get a pretty straight shot up to the eye. Cactus Atlas pro tip. Much easier for kids though, but this is the hardest part, is this initial squeezing through, and it's not that bad. See? One last thing to do in this section, and that's to thread another needle. A needle that I've never threaded, even in 2004. I just walked back here, if I remember, and took some photos. All right, let's get to the business here. There's a big crack underneath this thing. Wonder when its last day will be. Another needle threaded. We did it. Here we are through the other side. And here's your crowds, which aren't too terrible. I see like another tour bus now though. And you get a nice little surprise when you emerge on the other side. There's Turret Arch, greeting us with a straight-on view. That was awesome. I really like that route that I took, and it makes sense at this time of the day. And there's less people, you get to thread needles, see some really cool stuff, so that's how I'd recommend doing this one. So we're here at 11 a.m. now, back at the parking lot. We have one more arch to see, but the parking lot is full and people are waiting for spots. And you got tour buses here and good times. Oh, you didn't think we were finished yet, did you? Oh, we have one more arch to go. A really large one that's kind of a hike, maybe the longest hike yet. Double arch. I think I see why they call it double arch already, but we'll get up close and study it. And maybe even thread one more needle, it looks like. And here we go. This double arch trail, they recommend morning is a good time for photographs. We're here in late morning. But there's only a quarter-mile trail to get up there, so half-mile total. We got this, and that arch looks amazing. Love the shape. And there's another arch over there. I didn't catch the name of that one, if it has one. I'm sure it does. But clearly the main feature is this big eye over there. Wow, this is gonna be spectacular. I wonder if we can do a double needle threading. I don't know if you can go through both of them. That might be a first on the channel. A double thread. This might win the record of the tallest arch, the one in front. But you can really get a good look here at the double arch effect. That is so crazy cool. I don't recall visiting this particular one in the past. When I was here, I must have skipped it. But so far in the windows, I think this is my favorite of all the arches that we saw today. We're not even up underneath it yet. But I guess that's suitable because this is probably the last stop on our destinations today. It looks large from back in the distance, and it looks twice as big from up close. This is amazing. All right, we're right underneath this thing, and we're about to thread needle number 1, and then we'll see about needle number 2. And directly underneath it.
Come this way for us.
All right, I made it through the first one. And I'm right underneath the second one. All right, we made it through the first of the 2 arches. The second one I don't think can be threaded. You can go up to this spot though and get a little bit of a view, but I am pooped, I must admit. And if that didn't convince you to want to come out to Arches National Park, I don't know what will.